Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to the vlog. So I'm heading to Europe in the next month and I'll be stopping by Switzerland and the Dolomites. I wanted to make a proper espresso while I was out in the mountains, and this is the setup that I've landed on. For context, me and Jolie are trying really hard to budget for this trip. So one of the things that we're trying to avoid is going to too many cafes and buying coffees. I usually drink 2 coffees a day, so that can quickly add up, especially in Europe. The Australian dollar against the euro isn't that great, so having my own portable coffee setup just seemed like a no-brainer. Full disclosure, OutIn did send me these products to test out. However, everything I say is my own thoughts and what I actually think. But if you do want to help and support the channel, there will be a discount code down below that you can use to get 5% off when you order. Alrighty, so starting off with the first piece, and I feel like this is probably the most important piece. It's the OutIn grinder. I have tried pre-ground coffee in the past. However, I feel like when you are pulling an espresso shot, the grind is everything. If it's too coarse, it's acidic, and if it's too fine, your coffee ends up being bitter. So having a cordless grinder, especially when you're traveling, is pretty game-changing. Like, you don't need a power outlet, and you don't need to hand crank it like the other hand grinders. This grinder weighs 690 grams and it has 28 grind levels. I've tested it out and I found that 2.1 works for my espresso settings, and so far it's been really consistent. Not to mention, like, look how small this is. Like, it's super easy to pack in your bag when you're going out. The next piece I want to talk about is the OutIn Mino Espresso Machine. I was pretty surprised when I tested it out. It runs at 22 bars of pressure, which is what you need for a proper espresso with crema, and it also has a feature where you can heat up your water from room temperature, which is pretty sick. Some other cool things that's worth mentioning is that it's IP67 rated. What this means is it basically handles rain and dust, which is pretty handy, especially if you're planning to use it on a trail. Battery charges from 20 to 80% in 45 minutes. So if you're moving around a lot, it's pretty handy to have that feature. And this is a pretty random one, but there's a spec for it for high altitude at 5,000 meters, which I guess will come in handy if I ever try to make espressos like at the top of the mountain. But overall, like, it's pretty small, same as the grinder, and I'm super keen to use it when I'm hiking and I need it to pick me up. Yeah, I just can't wait. So the next piece is the OutIn scale. So it comes in this carry bag, which is pretty sick. And it's nice and compact. If you've ever made espresso before, then you know that weighing your coffee is crucial to getting the consistent taste that you want. And this one works really well. I have no complaints. Turns on just like that. It's good tear. Not much else to say. It's a nice, small, compact scale. Definitely useful for when we go to Europe. The next piece I want to talk about is this OutIn Latte Go Frother. This one is a pretty optional piece. It's only if you want to make lattes. And what's special about this is it's not a normal whisk. It has like little holes to help froth your milk. This one though, I definitely think there's a learning curve to using it. I've tried it a few times and each time it does get better, but it's not the same level as when I froth my milk with the machine. But that's more of a skill issue than anything. And what's also cool about this is when you do use a machine to froth your milk, it injects water into the milk. So it makes the milk slightly more watery, but this is just pure milk frothed with air, so you don't get that diluted milk. And it's a really good option if you don't have a coffee machine at home. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to bring this to Europe, just because you do need to heat up milk, and also another thing that I need to buy. So I think I'm just going to stick with a long black when I'm in the mountains. But we'll see, maybe I'll bring it, maybe not. Last piece is this stand and EVA case, which is used to hold your cup and the espresso machine. This is the cup, like that. Now, you don't need the stand, you can honestly just make it like this. I like it because it makes the setup look more intentional, and I kind of like displaying it like this, but it's not a need to have, definitely nice to have. That's pretty much the setup that I'm gonna bring to Europe, and I'll be curious to see how this holds up on hikes. One of my favorite things to do in the morning is make coffee, so making coffee when I'm out in the mountains will definitely be a vibe, and I'm so excited for that. But the OutIn link is in the description below, and there'll be a discount code if you guys want to grab anything. But that's about it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.